It is serious. It makes you sit up and take notice and say, hey, look, these are the kind of things that member clubs were worried about. These are the kind of things that they expected. But when it happens, it really does. It kind of takes your breath away for a minute and you go, okay, hey, let's just figure out and make sure everything's going okay here and that he is going to be okay long term. Before we just dismiss it and go, hey, well, it's just one person. Well, Doug Peterson carries a lot of weight in this league. This is a Super Bowl winning coach. And we're talking about an individual's life and their long-term health. So that is a big deal. That being said, I think the individual clubs are doing a good job, at least, according to what I have heard and the people who I talk to, as far as continuing to perfect and kind of really dial in on these procedures and protocols and really keep everyone's feet to the fire as far as doing the right thing. This is a season about trust, Molly, Stephen A. It really is more so than any other season, a season about trust, not just what you do in the building and on the football field, but in particular what you're doing away from the football field. And the league is going to great lengths to not only educate the players and the coaches and the football staff, but they're going to great lengths to really educate their families, allow their families the opportunity to ask questions about what exactly is in place as far as procedures for my loved ones who are actually coming into the facilities and playing this sport. What procedures are in place to protect them? What procedures do I need to be following at home in order to protect myself and my loved one that is participating in the NFL? And there are some absolutely, just tremendous trainers and doctors who are working day and night to try and make sure that this stays on track. They are prepared, though. They know there's going to be positives. They know that there could potentially be more opt-outs. They know that they have to have contingency plans, not only for if the head coach gets sick like Doug Peterson got sick, but if offensive coordinators, quarterback coaches, trainers, support staff, if those people get sick, who is next in line? If the GM got sick, if the director of player personnel got sick, the pro director, the college director, they're having to prepare for so many different contingencies. And it is a huge undertaking. But they are committed to trying to make this work. They are committed to making sure that they are testing regularly and making sure as soon as something crops up, they're able to contain it so it doesn't just go widespread and just derail the whole thing. Because Stephen A. is right. There is a lot of money at stake, a lot of money. And I know we don't like to really reference that in the middle of a pandemic, but that's just the way it is. That's really what it is. It's big business, just like it's big business in college. That's why this stuff continues to be pushed forward, because people could stand to lose a lot of money if it doesn't get played. So in the NFL, I know in particular, in my area that I know the most people, they're doing everything they can. The players have a right to question everything that's being done. The players have a right, like Devin McCourty just said the other day, to have enough time to make informed decisions about whether they need to opt out. And the NFL needs to be respectful of that. They need to work together. That's the key going forward to this season in order to keep it on track. The players and the players union and the owners need to work together. You cannot be butting heads about things going into this season. You just can't, especially not on this issue.
Louis Riddick, I completely 1,000% agree with you, and I appreciate the point about economics that you've brought up because I've been bringing it up on several occasions, and I'm dead serious about this. Certainly, again, safety protocols have to be exhausted. We understand that. The health and well-being of the athletes themselves and everybody involved, coaches and beyond, the bottom line is you've got to prioritize safety, but we throw aside economics like it shouldn't matter, but the reality is it always does. Yes, we've got folks, I hate to break it to people, but you know what? We've got folks working in the supermarkets. How much money are they making? We've got medical professionals working. How much money are they making? We've got law enforcement officials, firemen and others that are working. How much money are they making? They're putting themselves on the line, their health on the line, their lives on the line every single day. Now, obviously, when you think about athletes themselves and the actual sports that are being played, what I get tired of is folks saying, you know what, the games are not that important. I've never brought up the game. What I brought up is who the game employs. Because there's a multitude of people that are employed, thousands upon thousands of people that are employed by these leagues. And I got news for everybody in America and beyond. Let's take into account these billionaire owners that want to make their money. Excuse me, there are people who are not billionaires, not even millionaires, hell, not even thousandaires, that are working under these folks that are getting paid and relying upon the league and the games themselves about a check. I recently saw a report where in college football, let's say, for example, Alabama doesn't have a football season and they don't play. Guess what? It's projected to cost the local economy in Tuscaloosa in excess of $200 $100 million. How many people do you think are going to lose their jobs if those games don't take place? These are the kind of things that are an absolute reality. And so when you look at it from that perspective, you can't just look at professional football or any professional sport that matters. I ain't even bring up college, but especially in the realm of professional sports. You can't just look at it and say, you know something, the games are not that important. It's not about the game. It's about people's livelihood and quality of life, because whether we like it or not, there are some people that would rather, regardless of how dangerous it is, and they know it's dangerous and they're scared as hell, but they would rather go out there and embrace the challenge of trying to maintain or elevate their quality of life rather than staying at home indefinitely while we wait for a vaccine or some kind of therapeutic treatment and watch our quality of life disintegrate before our very eyes. That is the reality that everybody has to embrace. And I'm sure you agree with me, Lewis.
Absolutely.